Hello, hello, and welcome back to another interview. We are celebrating more change makers again this week, and we have gone back to the north of the border to Canada. We're so happy to be able to invite Wayne Hinds to the stage. Hello, Wayne. Thank you for being here.
Hello, Shane. I'm so excited. It's so good. Just our precursor conversation that we just had here was exciting and motivating and inspiring, and it's got me all smiles. So I'm excited.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, we're so glad to have you. So please tell everybody in our wonderful Unity for Wellness and Peace group, tell everybody about what it is you do and why you are so amazing.
Oh, you're too kind. Well, I'll take a couple of minutes here to share a little bit about myself. As you asked, my background is in technology. My name is Wayne Hinds. Out of Toronto, Canada, and yes, north of the border. Friendly friends of USA, and in fact, I've got lots of family and friends in the US. So to me, there's no border, to be honest with you. But I've been in the technology space for quite a while, and I won't date myself, but I absolutely love technology. That's been my passion, along with sports, and so I've been fortunate enough to be in the space to watch things just transform over time. And even though I've been in the corporate world and for so many years, and recently, well, several years now, I've been an entrepreneur, in helping small, medium-sized business get on in the digital world that we're in right now, and get online and grow their business, and also to just helping entrepreneurs and small businesses alike to find their passion and their vision. And it's, for me, again, underpinned by technology, and which led me to starting my publishing company, which actually was a divine download I got many years ago, called Truth Communications. And
Mm.
Truth is an acronym that I got, as I said, as a download for trusting righteousness under the heavens.
Oh,
Truth
I
communication.
like
I'm a
that.
bright guy, but I can't make those things up. Okay, I'm not that smart. Trust me. So yeah, so the publishing company is called Truth Communications, and I started publishing but for a number of people. We published several books, but in the early stages of the publishing, I thought, like, wait a minute, I can publish my own book. Because honestly, I never really envisioned myself publishing my own book, or because I've been in the corporate world, not more of a business writer and presenter, and so didn't really think of myself as an author. Well, after starting the publishing company and publishing for a few people, who are, ironically enough, they felt that they were divinely led to me, okay, to help them publish their books, which I obediently did that. And then, sure enough, I'm like, I can do this. And I published my first book called Reclaiming Digital Gold: How Your Personal Data is Transforming Business and Society. All about data, AI, and technology revolutionizing our world. So that's a little bit about me. So I work in the digital space, helping entrepreneurs and companies, grow their business online and get online, and also to now, having a publishing company that helps people realize their publishing dreams. And of course, my book is a living testimony that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, I believe everybody has a book in them somewhere. So I am
I agree.
glad to know that you're here helping people to publish under the heavens. What a great acronym. That is just so perfect. I love it when we get those downloads. Well, I
Absolutely.
know you had some awesome information to share. This group tends to get a lot into health and wellness kinds of stuff. And my husband and I last year we did a big event about suicide prevention, especially among our young people. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about some of what you've been sharing about, the technology side of mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for the opportunity, and just to be here with you. It's such a pleasure. And what you and your husband are doing on this platform with your group, it's awesome. Spreading some real great things in this time we're in right now, because we're in a season where technology is underpinning almost everything we're doing. Think of how much
Mm.
time we spend on our mobile devices, or just, we're how much time we spend connected, right? No matter where
Yes.
we are, you guys are mobile. You guys can always connect, no matter where you are. You find some way to do that. That's the reality of the world we're in. And so, as it relates to the digital space and our mental health, I was fortunate, and you and I both were actually in a session recently where we presented about some of this topic. And so for me, it's near and dear to me from a technology perspective, because it's not something that we really are cognizant of. We're on our mobile devices on a regular basis. We're scrolling. Maybe we just start out for a few minutes. Let me just check my emails or something, or let me just watch that video, that link that somebody sent me. And before long, we're off in Never Land. Watching cats and dogs, and people do all kinds of stuff, and the time just flies by. I say that tongue in cheek, and it is, don't get me wrong, it's exciting, and it's a wonderful time, but it can be quite daunting in terms of the effects it has on our health, our mental health. There are, I'll give you some facts real quickly. When it comes to the digital world, there is roughly five and a quarter billion people that's using social media.
Mm.
And on an average, there's nearly 7 different platforms that people use on a monthly basis. So they're
Mm.
constantly flipping between, and so you can see all of these are drawing for our attention. So we're in what I call the attention economy. And so everything is vying for attention, and then you throw the algorithms in there and all that, which we'll go into afterwards. But individuals spend about 2 hours on an average, and these are conservative numbers. 2.5 hours daily, on social media alone. Now, in terms of computers, on an average, our average screen time is roughly about 7 hours, 7 hours a day,
Mm.
whether it
Mm.
be work, internet. And again, these are conservative, right? So each person can
Wow.
do their own measures. And we
Right.
spend, about 3 hours of that on our mobile. Again, these numbers are all estimates, but based on statistics, they're fairly close, if
Mm.
not maybe understating. And then you look at adolescents spending more than 5 hours daily, and we know the adolescents, they're constantly wired, right? But
Yes.
here's what,
Yes.
unfortunately, a sad statistics is that roughly 70% of them or more experience some sort of suicidal thoughts or action.
Ah, yes.
I wanted to drive that home with the younger generation who are wired. Our generation, we perhaps have some guidelines. We want to put our phones away, and we want to spend, right. We know how to get out and enjoy nature and so on. So when it comes to technology is driving us as opposed to we're driving it. Okay. And
Hmm.
all the dopamine that comes with all these videos, and of course, when we find something that we like, the algorithms gets hooked onto that. Go, let me feed you more. And
Yes.
before long, as I said, it could be a couple of hours where we're still on our devices and so on. So there's so many things going on when it comes to the health aspect of the mental health aspect of technology. We're just completely wired, but also to the boundaries. There's so many aspects to us being affected that we're just not aware of. And one last thing I'll just say on this is that there's a concept or a term that's been put forth on the internet, which many of us may be familiar with. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. The acronym is become the thing that people dread the most nowadays when they put their phones down. Oh, let me go see what so and so is doing, or let me go
Yeah.
and that can take us down a rabbit hole. Before long, again, several hours later, it's
Mm.
incredible. And then, of course, there's the sleep patterns and some of those other factors that I won't go into fully.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a fact. Because there are statistics in the U.S. that says that 10 to 18-year-olds, second leading cause of death is suicide, and we know cyberbullying is playing a role. We know that there's issues where they're just attaching all their self worth to how many likes and
Yeah,
views they get
yeah,
on social media, and it's like, no, we as parents have got to be more mindful of these things with our kids and try to help redirect some of that time. Let's get them back outdoors without devices.
Right, right, absolutely. And it's a daunting challenge, but it's doable. You're absolutely right, right? You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think
absolutely. Well,
even though technology is so consuming nowadays and all consuming of us and we consuming it,
mhm.
the hope is still that we can make a change, right? And one of the things that I do in my book is the book is about data, how data is underpinning our entire society. And so everything we do when we get online, for example, we leave what I call digital footprints. And so
Mm.
just to play on the digital gold, which I'm referring to as data, as a digital gold, and we're the ones that are producing that. One of the things I do in the book is at the end of each chapter, I give digital gold nuggets, which is again another play on the word digital or gold, is tips as to how do you go about these very things that we're talking about. How do you go about helping or correcting the course on these issues, and including mental health. There's a chapter in there I discover, and in great detail, well, not great detail, but significant detail about our mental health aspect of it, privacy, all these social media, all these various areas that is affecting us. So I do cover off. I'm not, an alarmist. I believe in bringing forth some of these solutions. And to your point, young people, how do you get them off the devices, or how do you course correct? And I think there's opportunities and still a chance to do that.
I choose to believe that, because otherwise, oh my goodness, we could become just a mush society, just watching cat and dog videos all day, right? I mean, I know it's easy to go there, no doubt. But I'm really curious, Wayne. So, was there something, growing up that maybe became a trigger for you to get so excited and passionate and enthusiastic about the digital world?
Oh my goodness! Thank you for asking that question. That's the now. I'll sure. I'll try and keep it short, but I have a story which actually I mentioned in the beginning of the book. All right, and
Okay.
it happened to me by happenstance. Why I how I managed to have landed in the digital world or the technology world. So when I was younger, I used to love art as in freelance drawing. I mean, I used to draw everything I saw. If it's nature, I love nature. Cats and dogs. Talking about cats and dogs. Instead of watching them on video, I used to draw them. Okay,
Okay.
and I love that. Even though I I didn't know what I wanted to do in school. I loved to draw, and then and in fact, I used to look in the mirror and draw myself. And go, oh, okay, kind of that was kind of
Wow.
vain, but I mean, I just love to draw. I love being an artist. And what's interesting is that I'm going to date myself a bit here, but in the early years when I was back in high school, they were adopting computers in the lab. We had a computer lab. That's how it's it started in the school system. And I remember our school had a computer lab that we go to once or twice a week. And I found it fascinating. The computer lab, of course, the lab contained all these big computers. Who would think, they're this small nowadays, but back in those days,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
clunkers, right? And I used to enjoy going to the lab. And I remember we had a lab project um, for computers, and we each got to choose our topic and so on. And the topic that I and my partner at the time I got paired up with, we chose to and it was something I just thought to explore because I had just bought I used to love music too, so I bought a music receiver at home to play my music, and it came with a nice brochure that said it had a computer chip in it that amplified the sound and made it better. So we decided to use that as our research and do a little bit more research on the computer chip and how it's amplifying the sound and making it better. And I thought, wow, that's fascinating. And I had an aha moment. I'm like, you know what? This chip that they're putting into these music receivers, they can put it in anything in the future. What if it's in, this and that? And I started projecting and so on. So anyway, we did a great presentation to our class, and they loved it. We got you know, A's all around on our report and so on. And I came away thinking, wow. So I decided I was going to go to university for computer science,
Okay.
to explore it more. And I gave up my love for art. I parked it. I'm like, why? But there, at the time there wasn't obviously a monetary, career in that, and I didn't see that anyway, and so I went to computer science, and that's been my vocation, my education and vocation. I just been it ever since, and I even talk about it in the book. Just how that journey came to be, and I you see I get light up talking about it because yeah, I just sort of stumbled on it, but wow, what a exciting journey, and just to see where we are now, going from those big clunky computers to these devices in our hand, right? That are more powerful than ever.
Absolutely. Well, I have to, I'm just curious. So have you gotten into playing with AI and how it can draw things and all of that?
Absolutely. In fact, I I wrote this book in 2000 in 2024. Sorry, 2022. I apologize. 2022. I published it December 2022. 6 months later, AI ChatGPT was released on the world. And in the book, I refer to AI quite a bit because the way I position the book is that data is what we're producing. We're every time we're online, we're producing this digital footprint,
Mhm.
which is data, and that's what AI gets trained on. And I actually have a chapter in the book where I teach people how AI gets trained. So I did all that research and put the book together, and I talk about in the chapter in the intro where I was just mentioning my story. I said that even though I'm in the technology space and I didn't pursue my love for art, we can redeem ourselves now because we can get AI to draw for us. So I actually stumbled on OpenAI, which is was a parent company for ChatGPT, and I mentioned a lot of the things that we're experiencing now in the book, unbeknownst that would be the future. So I had some, if you will, some divine help, I think, in putting that
Right. So
together. But yeah, I've been exploring, not only exploring, I'm actually be teaching a course on AI and the publishing, those two. And the course starts actually this Thursday. So I've not only been in it, I've been teaching on it and giving people lots of opportunity to be able to explore in a very safe and comfortable way. Now, there's many connotations with AI, and good and bad, and I come from a place of really not on those alarmists, but truly being aware of the concerns, but at the same time, how we can leverage this tool that's like nothing we've seen in our lifetime, at least.
this is true. Well, and they say, almost anything you can look at on this planet, it can be used for good, it can be used for bad. So we just have to choose wisely, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm curious. So, do you have any big visions about where you want to go with all your work?
Oh goodness, I sure do. In fact, as I mentioned, I've got a couple of businesses. One is just helping, just small, medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs, get over the hump of the new world, the digital world, and grow the business and so on. And then I've got the publishing company, which is a small, self-publishing company that helps people bring their dreams to life. That publishing company, I mentioned to you, the download of the truth, trusting righteousness under the heaven. It came with a whole business plan.
Wow.
The download was really well, and this was big. I received this in 2007.
Oh, wow.
So, and I'll just tell you a quick story, how that came to be. Was in the corporate world for many years, and doing quite well, traveling the world and being a good corporate, executive, and high end leader, and traveling and helping a company in many ways. And 2007 was a pivotal moment for me because I was getting a real divine connection in my journey and my own personal spirituality and work. And I was in the space where I was fortunate enough to do some great things, and one of those things was a conference. And the conference, so which we've done other business conference and church conferences and related and so on. But this conference, though, was done on a day that I fell in love with. You hear me talk passionately about technology and so on. Well,
Yeah.
I'm passionate about the things of God, and the God's favorite number we know is seven. Well, July 7th, 2007 was the seventh day, the seventh month of the seventh year.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, look, I'm going to do a conference on that day. A conference to celebrate and to and and worship the Lord in doing that. And in doing that, would you believe that out of that came this download, which unbeknownst to me, as I said, I wasn't expecting, came this download about the truth publication, truth communications publishing and media company, which this is only the nucleus of and the beginning stages of it. And so yeah, so certainly looking as I see the world as being opened up digitally, which ironically enough, the download was referencing something I had never seen before, which is that we've been the digital space, and here we are, um, you know, um, how many years later. And the last thing I'll say on that is when it comes to the truth, again, I didn't make it up; it just happened to me. But it said truth, which is trusting righteousness under the heavens. That was the acronym. What's interesting is that 2007, many of not too many people would argue what truth is, or what the meaning of truth is, or the definition of truth. In today's
Mm.
age and society,
Who
yeah,
knows?
exactly, exactly. So truth is being questioned. Truth is being, is what is truth? What's real? When we talk about AI, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but so all of those things fall into this bigger vision that you asked me about, that you're asking about.
Yeah. Well, you're just going to build yourself a media and technology empire. I got it.
Well, I'm just following in the footsteps of what I was told to do. So I'm just doing
I,
one step at a time. And the first step is to help people bring their dreams alive in publishing and so on. So that's first step.
I love it. I love it. Well, I am glad that you have been called to do that kind of thing because we need more of that. We need more people living in purpose, living in passion, doing whatever it is that their higher power is wanting them to do because that's the only way we create heaven on earth. It's as above, so below is what it's supposed to be, right?
Right,
So,
right, right.
anyhow, so it's wonderful to have you here today, Wayne. Tell people how they can find you and your book.
Oh, great. Yes, absolutely. So, again, you speak with Wayne Hinds, Hinds. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But if you need to contact me directly, you can email me at Wayne at Truth Communications with an S, Truth Communications .org. Just remember it's a .org organization and not .com. So truthcommunications.org. It's one way. The other way is to go to where you can find me and my book, which is on, by the way, the book is on Amazon. It's on Audible. There's an audio version too. It's on Apple. You can get it in various formats. But the website for the book is the name of the book, reclaimyourdigitalgold.com. Reclaimyourdigitalgold.com. And if you go there, you will get access to the book, and then the other place is you can check out the website too, Truth Communications with an S.org, truthcommunications.org. And on the website, actually, I have the course and I have access to the book. I have other authors on the Truth Communications. So you can take a look at what's out there. And that's the best way to reach out. So you can either email me or you can go to one of the websites and you can connect with me there. All right. And I have a special offer for your guests. Your if you like, I can share that with.
Please tell us.
Okay.
Tell us.
For anyone who reaches out to me, I'd gladly give you access to the audio version of my book, which is on Audible, and you
Nice.
can have a free code when you go to Audible that you don't have to pay for it, and you can listen to the book. It's 4 hours worth of listening. You listen to in your car, you listen anywhere, and you can have that for free. All you do is just email me, and I'll give you a special code. You'll need that code to sign up for Audible and to be able to consume the book. And all I ask in return is just give me some kind of a rating, your honest feedback
Nice.
of it. But yeah, I would love to make that available to anyone who's listening. I would love to hear your feedback.
Awesome. That sounds wonderful. And once I'll give you the link to both YouTube and Facebook for this video, and you can put your information right under the video as well. We'd love to have it there, and we'll make sure that we highlight it and just tell everybody, hey, look, we got some freebies here for you.
Awesome. Yes, I want to make sure you get into as many hands as possible. So whoever would like that.
Good deal. Well, thank you, thank you. All of my group says thank you. And do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to leave people with today?
Words of wisdom is far and few between. Given all that we've talked about, I don't want it to seem like it's technology is here to ruin our lives. I think it's really more about how we leverage it. You alluded to that earlier. Technology is just like a vehicle. You can use that vehicle for good, or you can use it for bad. So I would certainly think that the takeaway from this is that you can make the adjustments where just by really just assessing our own individual situations and course correct before things take over if they haven't if you feel that that's the case. So yeah, that would be my final thoughts on that. And thank you so much for the opportunity and the great work that you guys are doing in spreading not only this but so many other great content that you guys are doing. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your kind words. And we thank all our change makers who checked in with us today. And we will see you guys in the next interview where we will continue celebrating change makers from all over the world. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again soon.